Howdy, partner. We're finding the best whiskey in all of Texas. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies. So I have teamed up with two legit Texas channels. Myself and then one other Yankee are doing this blind to figure out what the best whiskey in all of Texas is. What are those channels, you ask? Old-fashioned ways. Doc over there, he's doing this. He's an actual Texan, so he knows. Next up, we have Randall from the Whiskey Shaman. He is going to help us out with some extra special Texas knowledge as well. And then you got a couple of Yankees, me, and then the Bourbon Jerk. And we put our best Texas whiskeys into a pool, sent them all to each other. I'm enjoying blind number 2. If you watch their flights, you can see them do this exact same flight on their channel. I wonder if we'll pick the same ones. That's what makes it really interesting. Before we get started, please do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you're not a subscriber here, do me a favor, subscribe. This is a note right off the bat that I don't normally say. This is like cantaloupe and honeydew. It's a little melony. Not like Melanie a person, like melon -y. It's also a little bit of hay, a little bit of that. It's almost like a Texas funk that happens. Very interesting that like melon thing continues on the palate. I was not expecting that. It's also rather, it's got a little bit of that barnyard funk, but it's a little bit mesquite-y. Very sweet. This is a really sweet whiskey. This is like brown sugar maple. Yeah, that's pretty good. I do like that, even though it is a little on the funky side. You know, kind of similar nose to Glass One, where it's got a little bit of that like funky Texas thing. Also something a little fruity here. Nothing like there though. This fruity is more normal fruity. This is like apples and strawberries. That is a really nice palate. It is like crisp and a little citrusy, like appley, brown sugar. Man, when you get into some of this Texas stuff, when I'm drinking Kentucky, I kind of get tired sometimes of saying the same notes because, you know, I get like the same like 20 to 30 notes off of most Kentucky. But when you get into Texas, it's wild. And don't get me wrong, this isn't a knock on Kentucky. I love a Kentucky bourbon just as much as the next guy, but I'm enjoying how randomly complex these are. That is really good. That is honey as well. Like just a lot of like really crisp things going on here. Dig that. Now this is more dark. This is more dank. This is more like brown sugar, cinnamon, maybe a little rye spice. Oh man, that is really good too. It's a little higher proof than the other two, I think. But that's, man, I hate to say apple on 2 whiskeys in a row, but that is appley. It's brown sugar, really nice rye spice on here. Might not even be a rye, it's probably not, but it, you know, a lot of bourbons have a little bit of that rye spice thing. Yeah, that is, dare I say I think that's better than Glass 2, which I really liked. Man, this is a hard round. This is hard. Oh, now we're into that dark, like crazy, probably Garrison Brothers territory with this dark color. I'm not immediately getting that Garrison Brothers nose, which is like And I'm not doing any bottle guessing throughout this tournament. I'm just, you know, I'm going to let you know when I think something is there. Like, I can't look at this and be like, well, that sure looks like Garrison Brothers, and not say that. That's dishonest. So, but I'm not trying to guess here. I'm just saying that that's the vibes I get off that color. Weak nose for this. It's not giving me much to go on here. A little bit of hay, a little bit of vanilla. That's really all I'm getting. Well, wow. That is just syrupy, viscous. That is thick. That is a thick girl. This girl is so thick. She has 1.5 million Insta followers. Yeah, that is like brown sugar, molasses, maple, smoky. I have no idea what that is, but it is tasty. Then maybe that could be balcones, actually. Could be a single malt. Like I said, I'm not doing guessing, but I'm going to tell you when something's on my brain. If I think something is something, it's dishonest if I don't tell you. Why do I have to keep justifying myself? Anyway, these are really good. This was a really, really tough round. I'm going to have a hard time picking a favorite. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to grab my notepad. I'm going to take some notes here, and I'll come back in I'm going to cut this because it's probably going to be like 20, 30 minutes of me trying to decide. All right, so before we reveal my favorite, I want to ask you guys to go ahead and check out the Whiskey Shaman. He is one of the people involved in this, and I'm highlighting him in today's video. He does a lot of great interviews with he does a lot of great interviews with master distillers, with producers of whiskey, with blenders, and so some really fun, like, nerdy stuff over there. And what's cool about his channel is longer videos for me aren't something I watch often on YouTube. But longer videos for me work great if you can put them in a podcast, because I can listen to that on the go. And everything he does, he also releases as a podcast, so you can get it wherever you find your podcasts. So no offense to the good man over at Whiskey Shaman, my buddy Randall. I generally listen to your stuff on podcasts because longer stuff, I don't want to watch a video for a longer thing. That's just me. So if that's you and you need a whiskey podcast in your life, check out the Whiskey Shaman. All right, so some things I noticed on the second time through here. This girl did drink hotter than the rest, not in a bad way. It just, at a certain point, was kind of drowning out the rest as far as heat goes. Almost as if you put like a barrel-proof whiskey in a round with only, non-barrel proofs. It might kind of drown itself out. I don't know if that's the case here. I think some of these other ones could be barrel-proof, but it just is drinking too hot to give it the win. And when I say too hot, I like heat, but if it's going to give me more ethanol than flavor, and it's teetering that line. It's teetering the line of, this is more ethanol than flavor. So that's going to be my fourth place, even though I did really like it, especially the first time through. I did really enjoy it. It's got some great flavors there. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and say number 1 was my third favorite, followed by number 2, and then my favorite was Glass 4. All right, so this one was dramatically my favorite. I love this whiskey, whatever it is. I think it's a single malt. That doesn't really matter. It's just great. Anyway, drinking buddies, definitely check out some of those other channels I'm working with on here. This would be pretty cool to see what they picked. The only way you can find that out is you go to their channels and see what they picked out of these 4. And then we will do some sort of live stream to round this out, so hopefully you guys can check that out. I don't know whose channel we will do that on. Maybe mine, since I have the biggest following, but might be cooler to give the live to one of those guys. Anyway, drinking buddies, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Every time you guys like the videos, every time you guys subscribe to the channel, you make this thing possible. I could not do this without you. Cheers. We'll see you on the next one.